Hi, welcome to the cold open. All right. I don't know if you guys want to keep discussing the thing you were discussing before. You're welcome to or not.
No, I don't want any evidence of it. In case later events turn out poorly.
I want dear leader to only hear good things from me about him. Let's tell everybody who's not tuned in right now, but we're going to leave this up because it's not getting edited. This is just a planning episode. And it will only really be valid for, I guess, maybe a few weeks, because we're planning for a trip that I'm going to start next week. So the reason for this is, and it's kind of last minute change of plans, although it's not change, but maybe it is. We'll talk about that. Originally, I was going to take the vacation time here in summer in Vietnam. I live in Hanoi, and I wanted to find a new place to live. That means finding a job in a town, and not in that order, but finding all those things and going around and seeing them. And I was going to take some time in the summer, since I had some time, to go see the place before I moved there, because that's snazzy. So that's what I was going to do. And then I found out I was going to have to leave Vietnam for visa reasons towards the end of July. And that's when we planned the trip to Nagasaki, or we planned to plan it. We were thinking we would go to Nagasaki, and now on Thursday of this week, she calls me, she writes me a message and says, "Oh no, your TRC, that's your temporary residence card, is good until next year, like April of next year, so you don't need to leave. There's no visa issue." So we're kind of suddenly back to the starting point, where I would like to go and see some places that I could potentially move to. Not now, but next week. So that's what this planning episode is about. That does not eliminate the possibility of going to Nagasaki. We need to talk this episode about that and that sort of stuff. So this is going to be a long chatting episode. It's an update for people. If you want to find out what I'm doing this summer, this episode is for you. And if you want to watch a real, genuine travel episode, then stay tuned. They'll be starting next week. I think that covers the setup for the show, you guys. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to run the intro then.
Yeah.
I literally have a countdown there, and I still can't get the cookies crammed into my mouth before and washed down before the show starts. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. I don't know how exciting this episode is going to be. As I said, anybody tuning in for a travel episode is going to be disappointed with this one because we're not actually traveling. That background behind me is not real. I mean, it's real.
What?
That is Nha Trang, which is one of our potential destinations today. The goal here today is to just talk about and get clear in my and your, if you're concerned, head about the plan for making the decision for where to go. I mean, look, part of the reason I'm trying to put so much effort in this is, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but I kind of move around a lot. And I would like to settle down in one location and just find a place that I can enjoy living, for the foreseeable future without having to pick up and move again. So I'm kind of trying to be critical about. I've done some interviews already, but I was not impressed with the schools, and it's way early. To be honest, it's still early. When I look today at jobs, available jobs, they're hiring for August, and I'm like, well, that's not even the beginning of the school year. But they usually don't hire till last minute, which is totally the opposite of the United States. The whole reason I never even tried to be a teacher in the United States was because, and I had looked into it, because you have to apply so far ahead of time for the coming school year and start getting your paperwork and all your stuff done that you need a job. You need a job to carry you through the interview process. And I was just like, I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. Are we still connected?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You guys are very quiet. So I'm hoping that you guys will be able to help me get this all straight in my head. And so I guess the first question should be, what should the first question be? Where should we start on this? First question should be, what is the first question?
My first question is, which place that you have on your list of places has the most or the best potential for a good job? But also,
okay,
cool.
Let's look at our list. That is a terrific transition, maybe, to Kentucky. Here's my current list. I had it down to 5, and I'm not sure if we should just go ahead and put every possible thing on the list and then start eliminating, or how to do it. But these were 5 big ones. Let's see, Kanto. That's in the far south. Scott, you and I talked about this on an earlier episode when we thought we were going to do this the first time. It is a smaller town. It's not a big city, but it is growing. It's the only major city that I know of in the Mekong Delta. So that's kind of cool. It would be excruciatingly hot. It would be the same kind of hot that you get here in Hanoi, except it's actually in the tropics, so there's no winter.
Oh.
And, it's also not super close to the water, so I don't think you get any kind of sea breeze. Next one is Da Nang. Da Nang, we've been to Da Nang. Do we need to talk more about it, or?
No, I'll just say I love Da Nang. So.
Okay. I mean, it is one of the top. When I talk to people here and I say, what's the best place to live in all of Vietnam, they will very often say Da Nang. Hoi An, I feel like we can strike that one. It is a cute town. It's a great little tourist town. It's very close to Da Nang, so it's got the same kind of weather. It's smaller, so that's good. It is, from what we went there and we saw it. It's overrun with tourists, so the town part of the town, I don't think you would want to go to as a local. So I imagine locals have their own market outside that they shop at, which is fine. But I don't mind going to places that's heavily touristed, but Hoi An is only tourist. That is the only industry in town because the town is so small and the number of tourists are so high. So I feel like I can strike that one. I don't think about that, but I do that. How does this machine? Okay, goodbye. So with that, making progress already. Dalat is the next one, and I'm very interested in living in Dalat. It's one of the only inland cities that really is high on my list because it's in the mountains. and because it's both at the same time tropical and in the mountains, the weather is year-round between about 17, I think it was 17 to 24 degrees or something, which is right there. It's 20 degrees in Deloitte right now. That is room temperature.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, the temperature really gets now. Online, everybody says, "Oh, it rains all the time. It rains all the time." But I've lived in places where it rains all the time. That's fine. I have an umbrella.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Hello.
I mean, you've been in places where it's been a consistent 30 and up. It's been ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, this is much better. And still rains. I mean, it rained a lot in Saipan. It flooded.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. And that part didn't bother me. That was fine. In fact, it was nice when the temperature is that high. It's nice. But yeah, it's also a smaller town. One, I don't know if you want to call this a negative, but this is why I wanted to take the trip, was because I can't find any jobs online in Deloitte. Now, I cannot believe that a city of, and let's get the size again. No, that's not the size. Hang on. Oh, let me find what I'm doing. Size is just like it's not the most important thing, but it's an indicator, of it's an indicator. Okay, share this tab. Here we go. A lot. Let's see what we got. Let's look at these pictures. I always like to look at pictures, which is good. We're on the show here. Yep. So lovely lake and temple, I guess, and the church, and whatever that is. Okay. Well, these are not the best pictures. Deloitte's really pretty. It's an agricultural province. I think it's the capital of an agricultural province. But let's just look at the population. 240,000 people. That's a small city, but not so small that they wouldn't have an English school for the kids, right?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't really know either, but that just seems like there's enough people that they would have.
That's double the size of Cartersville, if that makes any difference. People barely speak English there. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess people here speak English well enough.
I mean, America doesn't do the schools after school thing that Asians do.
America's barely doing the schools at this point.
Right.
It seems like with some of the plans we've heard.
Oh.
Some of the projects that might be in place.
Oh no! Do away with the schools. Okay, another one is Nha Trang. Now here's, sorry, but this is also a bonus for Deloitte. Nha Trang is only about 2 hours from Deloitte. So if I'm itching for one of the world's best beaches, Nha Trang is it. Nha Trang is a beautiful, used to be a fishing town. The old story, used to be a fishing town, but people caught on to its beautiful beaches, and now it's lined with condo towers and hotels. The beaches, I mean, and it's a beautiful city. I don't really know if I should even consider this one. It is more touristy than Da Nang. Da Nang is actually a big city that happens to be next to a beach, a fairly big city. Nha Trang is basically just a beach resort. I mean, it is all tourism. I shouldn't say that, but it's close to almost all tourism. I'm sure they still do the fishing that they originally did. But it's the place we talked about that Anthony Bourdain visited like 20 years ago, and it really was just a fishing village there, and he's showing the beautiful beach and the great food there and all that stuff. And fast forward 20 years, and this picture, I don't know if you're getting the picture. This is it, Nha Trang.
Wow.
Oh.
Nice. That's so pretty. Yeah, I remember looking at this place.
Okay, so should I leave it on the list? Do we want to see it?
Yes. Of course, you know how much I love the beach stuff. So.
Okay, yeah. Well, then let's add another beach place because there's this city that I don't have on the list yet, and I'm going to add it now because this is the place where I got. I hate to say the word stranded. It makes it sound like it's unpleasant. It wasn't, but this is where I was when the pandemic kicked it up a notch. It was already underway, but when I got to Quignon, I thought I would stay in there for 2 weeks, and by the end of this 2 weeks, I'm sure this pandemic thing will be over. And instead, at the end of the 2 weeks, just a couple of days before the end of it, um, I started getting messages that China was shutting its doors. Of course, in that 2 weeks, we were watching the numbers explode in the United States and Europe. That's when everything went completely batshit. So this is where I was, and it's kind of like an emotional thing, I think. So maybe the visit, I'll go there and I'll go, oh, it's not really as good. I just remember it, but I remember it very fondly because it was the last place where I felt like the world was not completely insane. Which kind of it's just that'll be the last place because I don't think I'm going to be unconvinced of that.
Oh,
But let's look at pictures of it. It's a smaller town, which is what I liked about it. But you were talking about finding a place before it takes off. Like Nha Trang has already taken off, too late there. But this place has not taken off yet, and the beaches are just gorgeous. They're not as big. Like you can walk the whole beach in about an hour, I guess. So it's big enough, but. And there's this stuff which you don't see if you're in the city. It's beach there, but this is in the surrounding area. And this is one of the beaches that are not in town. Yeah, a little statue in the town square or plaza, whatever you call it.
oh,
People like to. I noticed they do this here. They like to get their bikes washed, and they'll park their bikes in a row. Like several friends will get together and park their bikes in a row and take pictures. I don't know why.
I like how they're all a different color, like it's a team of Power Rangers.
That's nice. Wow, coffee and tea. There's lots of big plans there. There's like, I don't know how many of them are going to come to fruition, but like I say, it is currently in the stage before it takes off. It's not a big, gigantic resort, but it's already a popular beach town. And a couple of people said Quignon, just like without prompting. I was like, where do you think I should live in Vietnam? And they'll say Quignon. I don't know where this is. You know, sometimes photos in Google get mixed up, so I'm not sure this is actually close to Quignon. But there are some archaeological sites. There are Cham sites in the area. I guess it doesn't really add to the to the benefit for me, but it's kind of interesting. It's cool. Can't tell if that was a real picture. Anyway, all right, so there's that. That's Quignon. Do you guys have any thoughts on places we've been or seen?
You mean for you to go stay there?
For us to investigate, like maybe we put in some job applications and then put on the list of possible places to see if it's someplace we want to go.
Well, just out of any place I've seen, all of the beach places, they have their set culture, but then they have a big tourist draw there. It just seems like those would have more jobs than smaller ones.
If it's just a small town, yeah. I should mention Dalat, the one I had said that was really. It is actually a tourist spot as well because. Scott, you were there the episode in Da Nang where we went up to Bana Hills up the long cable car.
Yes.
Do you remember the story of how like it was a French resort town and it just got turned into what it is now?
Yes.
That was the whole story really. it started out as a French resort because they couldn't handle the heat, so they at some point in the summer they'd go up to Banna Hills. Well, they did that in other places too, and Dalat started out that way, but it's in the center of an agricultural province, and so now it's a city in its own right. But it started out the same way, and so it actually is a resort destination too. I just feel like people probably go there to cool off. So Erica, you say beach town. You're all for beach town.
I say, and also I absolutely would definitely, if you didn't already, rule out that hot one.
Canto?
Yeah. No,
the one down
Canto
here?
Can't do.
Let's look at some pictures because it looks nice. I mean, I want to say it does not look like a bad town. Whatever you're thinking of the Mekong Delta, you should be aware that this is the city in the Mekong, and it looks really cool. I mean, I almost feel like we should leave it on the list to go see it, but the chances that I'm actually going to take a job there are fairly low because I know what the heat will be like. And we'll be there in August, so I mean, actually it won't matter because it's in the tropics, so it could be December. That's the whole point. It's like there's never any respite from the heat once you're down far enough south. But it looks nice. It looks like a nice town. As you can see, it's not a big city. There's one tall building, and the rest is pretty small town. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it on the list with the asterisk that this is just so we can see this place, this city in
window shop there.
Yeah, we're just window shopping. We probably ain't gonna buy nothing. All right, the next thing I put on while you were talking was Haiphong, and I don't know if we did not do an episode of Haiphong. It's close to and on the way to Cat Ba Island and Halong Bay, and it's a nice looking little town. There's not much to it, but the big advantage there is it's not far from here. That would be an easy move. So yeah, easy is a big thumbs up. But it will have approximately the same weather as here. The pollution is not as bad. I should mention one of the reasons that I'm interested in leaving Hanoi, lovely city though it is, for its size, I think it's probably one of the nicest cities you'll find. Just because it's very big, but it generally speaking has not lost its charm. It still has wide, boulevards and tree-lined streets, and not all of them, of course, but it has a lot of trees and lakes and parks, and a very strong coffee culture here. But the pollution in the wintertime just goes through the roof. I mean, you get red warnings on your little app that warns you about pollution. That will say put on a mask like you wear while you're painting. And they're not joking, because there were times when I was like, it can't really be that bad, and I would go out without the mask, and I would end up coughing. Feeling like it's real. You just definitely pay attention to it. And there's that, and then in the summertime here, the heat goes through the roof. I know that's going to be anywhere in Vietnam, but at the same time, the heat goes through the roof, and there's not really any way to get away from it or, respite. Like in a beach town, you can at least go sit at the beach or sit at a coffee shop that's close to it. And you also get an ocean breeze all the time, where we don't get that here. It's just super hot, stagnant air. So anyway, that's why I'm leaving. But the pollution won't be as bad in Haiphong, but the heat, of course, will be the same. But that's kind of another one I'm putting on the list, so I can say, let's go see it. But I don't know. I'll see what you guys think about that. Another one that I have gotten suggested, which is strange, but it's another tourist town, is, you remember this episode, Erica? Halong, the city of Halong.
Yeah.
We went to today. We posted some videos there. We didn't explore the city while we were there, but maybe it's worth it. Of course, it's growing because it's a big tourist spot. It's a beautiful area, but I'm not sure what the advantage to living in the town would be. I guess you got a good view occasionally, but other than that, it's not like you're spending your life on a cruise. What do you guys think about this one?
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, these are those floating villages that you were telling me about. we were doing the episode. I don't think I would be living in the floating village. I like the geography of the town. I like this arrangement. I don't know how practical it is for growth, but kind of cool. Okay, any thoughts on that one? I'm reluctant to put that one on the list. It seems like it's just a place that people know, so they're like, you should live in how long?
Right, because it's really pretty, but how lucrative would it be for you to be there?
Right, yeah. And also, one thing about the beach towns and any of the places that I would go that are famous because it's a beautiful beach, et cetera, is every foreigner is going to know that. So you're going to be competing with a lot of other teachers, meaning the wages will be driven down. Thailand is the perfect example of this. Thailand, I see jobs in Thailand Thailand is a wealthier country, I think, than Vietnam is, at least in terms of just, people with money. But when I look at jobs there, they pay half of what they pay in Vietnam. And it's just shocking because there's money there, but so many foreign teachers want to live in Thailand. And I get it, it's a beautiful place, but man, it's not that much better than here. And then, of course, Cambodia is Cambodia is even worse. It's probably like a quarter of the money. But at least in Cambodia, there's definitely a lower cost of living. Thailand is more expensive than here, but people are making half. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get why
way too many people going there.
Yeah, tons. Okay, so that's my thoughts. I'll mention one more that I haven't really looked into, and that's Vung Tau. Do you guys remember going to Vung Tau? Or I should say, Scott, you were there because this was pre-Erica. This is before I left Vietnam the first time.
I'm not sure. You have to remind me.
Let me see if I can find a photo that jogs your memory. It's a cool looking little town, and it's very close to Ho Chi Minh City. But I think the beach town of Vung Tau. Well, shoot. It's like there's a famous site there. We go.
Oh yeah. I remember you walking up the hill to get to Jesus.
I like the question mark there. Is he? Yes,
well,
that is Jesus.
It was just Craig Christ.
Craig Christ. I couldn't get the headliner, so they had to go with Craig Christ. Well, go ahead.
Steven Spielberg's non-union Mexican counterpart. Which I think that's a joke from The Simpsons. I may have messed it up. But... Smithers, get me Steven Spielberg. He's unavailable, sir. Well, then get me Steven Spielberg's non-union Mexican equivalent.
Well, maybe that's what it is. I was terribly impressed with Vung Tau, to be honest. I don't think it's on my list, but I thought I would bring it up since it's a place.
But it's got a giant Jesus there. What's not to
love? It does have a giant Jesus. Well, it's a beach town close to a very large population center. And the town itself was just like, I've seen a lot of beach towns, and I'm not the most impressed I could be with.
Getting a little jaded of beach towns. I think.
Well, Vietnam has a lot of them, and that's kind of the point. That's the point of what we're doing right now. Is like there's so much. It's options paralysis. There's so many to choose from. I'll tell you, the town I was going to move that area, I would really want to live in would be this one. It's the cute little town that I stayed in most of the time we were there. that I was there. We weren't doing shows in this one, but it was just a little cheap spot to stay in while I waited on my flight. That's what I was waiting on. Yeah, that seems right. Because I was trying to leave and I needed a place where I could get my COVID test done right before I got on the plane. So that was Bahia because it's the capital of the province, and or at least the government agencies and things are there where you can get the testing done. And the commercial center is Vungtau, the beach town. So I stayed in Bahia, and it was really nice. If it hadn't been the holiday, it probably would have been a lot better. But it was holiday and COVID, and so nobody was really out. But still, we could tell it was a nice town. But I don't think that's on my list anyway. I just don't. I don't see how it would rate higher. I'm trying to think of like all the reasons I might want to live in any of these places. Kanto is there because it's up and coming. It's unusual. It's in the river delta, the Mekong, which to me just like that is a cool thing to say I was living in the Mekong or have lived in the Mekong. But I also I'm saying I want to find a place to settle down for at least a while, kind of like I did in Chunjo, which I wasn't super settled there, but I'm trying to be more settled this time and stay in one spot. So I don't know. I think that alone marks Kanto off the list, plus the temperature. Yeah, because the novelty of saying you live in the Mekong is going to wear off after a while, and you're going to be like, well, do I actually what's living here? Dalat is the temperature. Temperature for Dalat is beautiful, wonderful. Nha Trang is a big, popular beach destination. It will have everything expats want and need and maybe shouldn't have in terms of food, like unhealthy food. But it's going to have everything. It'll have more than a town its size probably should have because it's such a big tourist destination. And Nha Trang is an international beach destination too. It's one of the few in Vietnam that competes with Thailand and Philippines when people are coming to Southeast Asia. Those are the big beach countries that just have tons and tons of gorgeous beaches. But Nha Trang, it competes with them. Okay, Quy Nhon is not quite that high level of beach, but it's a small town and a beautiful beach. It's very nice. And coastline in the area. And again, mostly just that it's smallish. I like that. Da Nang is, Erica, you're the one that likes Da Nang. I mean, not that I don't, but you're a big proponent, so you want to tell us why you think Da Nang should be on the list?
Yes. Well, I like the way that the people were with you when you were there, and the food and the sights, because you could go, I don't know how many minutes it took you because you had to go on that guy's bike, but you were able to go at least within like 20 to 30 minutes or less to go to the mountains. You could be city center, mountains, or at the beach when you're there.
Yeah.
Well, a mountain, I guess, but you can go up. You know what I mean? You can go elsewhere. You know what I mean? It was neat.
Yeah. Okay. I should mention too, I like the food there. A lot of Vietnam's close to the ocean, so you get seafood a lot, but I found the seafood in Da Nang was extra good. I assume they're fishing there. Should Haiphong be on the list? It's on the list because of ease. It's close by.
That's so funny. That's it. It's close.
I mean, it looks like a nice enough town. It doesn't look bad, but all the towns on the list look really nice. So it's hard to say anything else about it. I was there. I ended up having to stay there when I came back from Cat Ba Island, and so I got to walk around a bit, and that's it. Yeah, it looked nice, but there's not much else to say about it. There's nothing super special. The weather's not unique. It's about the same as I experienced here. Pollution will be less, but I mean, Hanoi has the worst pollution in the country. It's worse than Ho Chi Minh City. Maybe we should mention Ho Chi Minh City. I didn't put that on the list because of the extreme that is the town in Vietnam, the city in Vietnam, that every foreigner wants to come to. I'm actually a little shocked that I find so many foreigners here in Hanoi, even though it's the capital, because everybody wants to go to Saigon. It's got such a, I don't know, air of mystery. Does that make any sense?
Oh.
It's that thing we talked about when we did the review of the Quiet American, where foreigners come here and they just get all fuzzy in the head, and they go, oh, it's such a magical, mystical place. Oh, it's just a mystery. It's just this unsolvable riddle of Vietnam, and so they get all poetic, and it's like, that's great, but actually it's just a city, and I don't even mean to knock it. It looks like a nice city, but in the end, it is just a city. It's not all this shit that you came up with. And we talked about, like, the guy who's saying it, Michael Caine's character in the movie. He's smoking opium and sleeping with women half his age.
Right.
And then he goes, what is it about Vietnam? It's like, I think it's those two things mainly. It doesn't have anything to do with Vietnam. But it looks like a nice city, but people get just all fuzzy in the head about it, and they want to go be in Saigon and live in Saigon. And so that the competition for jobs is just too much. Like, I do not care to compete with a bazillion other people for the same job. I left the United States for precisely that reason. Thereabouts. All right, so do you guys want to keep counting?
Let's just be clear. Michael Caine could have laid around and smoked opium and slept with women half his age in his native land of the United Kingdom. It's just far easier where he was.
Well, also, I'm sure I said Michael Caine. I meant Michael Caine's character. I don't know how much Michael Caine smoked opium.
Well, that's what I meant too.
Drummers there.
Well, yeah.
Did you see who his wife is?
In real life or in the movie?
In real life.
Oh, wow.
I was reading a story about how, like, otherwise, if it was not Michael Caine that did this, it would be stalking. But he saw a freaking commercial with this lady, and he was like, I must meet this woman. I have to find her. He, like, went all over the place, tried to find her. Like, this is back in the day. Obviously, you can't just be, like, looking on the internet. So he contacted people that he could to find out how she was on this commercial and who she is, yada, yada, yada. And he ended up finding her through, I don't know, some kind of contacts, but her name is Shakira. Okay. Hold on, let me tell you where she's from. She's actress, model, gorgeous woman, right? British former actress, fashion model, beauty pageant holder, blah, 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 blah. But let me find out she's still gorgeous, by the way, if you look her up. But, Guyana. That's former Miss Guyana.
Oh.
So that's, or Guyana, I guess you want to say Guyana. But that's, so
Guyana,
she's
in Guyana?
Yeah. And
really?
that is where I can't remember what commercial it was, but that's what he saw her on. And she is younger than him, but not that much. Well, yeah, she was 1947. So she's like what? Mm-hmm. He's 91. So.
Oh, she was 20 years. That's funny. At their age now, you're like, she's 77 and he's 91. Well,
right.
That is not too big. But if they were in their 20s and 30s, that would be a big difference.
Right, and they've been together for 45 years since then, or more. No, 40. No,
she is gorgeous.
Something. Yes,
so he saw her in a commercial. He saw her in a commercial and decided, I think I'll marry that lady.
Yeah, and it was said that he was like one of the notorious bachelors of the time, like some of the other highfalutin dudes that were the big actors of the time. But
she is gorgeous. I like her old pictures. Not that I don't think old people have beauty or whatever, but when she was young, looking at those old pictures, that is just fantastic. Look at it, the clothes that she's wearing, and And him too, like there's the way they're dressed and.
Oh yeah, there's like this one picture of him. I think he's got like a pipe sticking out of his mouth or a little cigarette or something. I don't know. He just looks really cool, and she looks like super gorgeous. And I'm like, okay, pimpin'. I guess you can go and hunt her down. It was a Maxwell House coffee ad. That's what it was. 1971 Maxwell House coffee ad. And he's like, I must have her.
So do you guys think I should mark Kanto off the list again? I really want to go there and see it, and
you should go there and see it, and then we make a note of how incredibly hot it is when you're there.
Yeah, it's true.
Because where was it that the temperatures were really lovely? Where was that one? I can't remember the name of that. Dalat. Yeah, that sounds delightful. Okay, so that one and Da Nang, Dalat and Da Nang are my favorites.
Should I mark Nha Trang off the list because it's the bigger?
No, because
beach.
that one looks like it's bustling, and it might have jobs too. Like it would be really good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I can definitely find. I'm gonna tell you, Dalat's the only one where I've been totally unable to find any job postings online, and I don't know if that means that there are none there or that they're just not. There's so few foreigners they don't bother to post. It also could be so inundated, like maybe I got it reversed, and Dalat is so popular that they don't need to post. I don't know. I guess we won't know until we get there. But that's okay. So I kind of want to start with Kanto. Because it's the farthest one, and I'd rather work my way back up the coast. So we can start with Kanto and then come back to Dalat, and then Nha Trang and Quy Nhon and Da Nang are all beach towns. But I mean, a lot of places in Vietnam are on the beach. Is there any other area of the country? Anything else I should put on the list? This is not a bad list. It's six spots. Should I take Haiphong off the list because it's the only reason it's on there is because it would be easy to get there?
Right. That sounds like me eating at Burger King because it was nearby, and then I end up with stomach.
Right. I'm gonna. No, I don't want to save it to start places. Where do we do it? Haiphong. Take off both lists. Moving, removing. All right, so Haiphong's off the list. Sorry, Haiphong. I mean, it does seem like a nice town. There's a school there I'm particularly interested in working at, but I got to be honest. At my age, I'm not starting a career in teaching. I'm just trying to coast on what I got. But if I was a young teacher and I really wanted to teach somewhere interesting, there's a chain of schools here called the Dewey Schools, and they've got a branch in Haiphong.
Dewey Schools.
Dewey, yeah.
I think you mentioned that the last time we talked about this.
Is that right?
I think.
It's an interesting.
I think so.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Deweyite teaching philosophy. Had my life course gone differently, that would have been something I'd be very interested in getting into. But it is like that is a career teaching thing, and I don't really have a career in front of me at my age. So, all right, so let's turn through these. I guess that's it. Should I put Ho Chi Minh City on the list? Should we entertain anything there, or should I just strike it off because I think the number of other teachers just drives down. I have found this in both China and Vietnam that small town schools will offer just as much or more sometimes in salary than the big city schools, because the whole reason I'm leaving, well, not the whole reason, but the thing that kept me from staying here, because this would have been the easiest thing, would be to just stay here. Is my school didn't offer me any increase in salary to stay, and it's because they know they don't have to. There will be 10 new foreigners to come in next year in my place, and they don't have to increase salaries because the foreigners don't know. The new ones coming in to teach, they don't know what a decent salary or a normal salary is anyway. So they just say it's this much, and they go, okay, great. And most of them are young people straight out of school, just looking to have a little adventure for a year, and so they've just got their business model set up on that, and they're never going to offer more. They're never going to increase salary, like give you a raise to get you to stay over. Whereas a small town, once you get into a small town and start teaching, they will increase your salary like it's a normal job every year, because if they lose you, they know there's a good chance that they won't find another one, or at least not for a while, Anyway, so that's all that. But that's also a strike against Da Nang and Nha Trang, because those are fairly big cities.
Yeah, those are big.
Yeah, not as big as Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, so they're worth looking at, but that's something to keep in mind. Quy Nhon, Dalat, and Kanto, they may be the opposite. Like, Kanto is just a town, as hot as it is, it's just a town that nobody knows yet, and it's growing very fast, and so foreigners are not going to walk in there. You might be surprised at how big a town you can go to, a town or city that you can go to that is just not well known, and so people don't look for jobs there. As we have found out running a YouTube channel, if people don't know to type it into the internet, then they never see it. Because the computer doesn't just know. You got to type it in. Let's move on. Have I taken up way too much time already? I probably have. The next thing we should talk about is, maybe we should go over a quick idea of order. I kind of mentioned it already. I kind of wanted to start in Kanto, start at the bottom, and then work my way back up. So this will give us, a few days in each place. This is assuming I can find somebody that responds to me about a job. But if not, then maybe it's not worth stopping. But just assuming I can, we can go up each place on the map here and just work our way back up north, and hopefully find housing and a place to work before I get back to Hanoi. Yes. Terrific plan.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, so that's the idea. What do we want to? I wonder if I should make like a list. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let's let's open up a keep here. You guys want to see me doing this?
Does he make a list?
Watch you type out a list? I mean, it's riveting television.
All right, well, I'll just talk about it. Also, it's got all my personal information on this page. So
Yeah, that's also part of it. Yeah. Anyway, here's my bank account number.
Just in case you wasn't interested. This is the list that we're going to make. Is our checklist. It's like checklist for Vietnam job hunt. Okay. No, town hunt, city hunt, life hunt. I don't know what to call it.
Life Hunt sounds like the name of a 90s comic book adventure with the Avengers or something.
Life Hunt.
Life Hunt.
All right, so what do we want to show? So the idea is that we are going to get some episodes out of this. I think that just the traveling part is too much not to, but it's not going to be tourist sites this time. We want to know what it's like to live in each place. We want to know which one is the best place, right?
You're the best around.
This is something to take you down.
That's all right.
I'm sure that's the line.
Oh God.
You guys remember Homestar Runner?
Yes.
Did you remember the Strong Bad email where they had like a montage that was like the Karate Kid montage where it was a wagon full of pancakes that was trying to win a sporting event or something?
Oh, I missed that.
It's so good.
I was aware of it, but I never watched it.
I was big
Scott's
into
the one that showed me all of that. And then I was hooked, and I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, "I need another weird ass obsession."
I have so
I'm
many
not
of
the
their.
only one either, because that game that I play, well, I'm currently playing it as we're talking. But that Brendo's, which is also Neopets, but it's beta of that. These people on here, I was going to name my pet Burninator or Trogdor, because
Yeah.
it's a freaking it's a dragon, and people have already used those, so I had to like use phonetic spelling to name it. Actually, I named mine Prince Burninator. Because, nerd things. But anyway.
Because, nerd. Okay, so what should be on my checklist? What should we be looking at when we go to these places?
Okay, so the objective now is, obviously job, but when you're there, it is to see how they live, like just day-to-day life stuff.
Yeah, like what are we considering to compare the places? What do you guys want to see about each place to just know more about it?
Food, shopping, cultural activities.
Food shopping, do you mean like going to the grocery store or the market?
Out to eat and grocery shopping. Also regular shopping, just like retailing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just like day-to-day living kind of stuff that you would do, and you're over here and you're like, I've got to go to the Ingles and get me some bread.
Food, meaning groceries and market. It makes a big difference whether you've got a market. And then regular shopping, not apparel, like it's just shopping. Shopping options, like do they have malls, or is this place too small? No malls. Do they have a market? All right, good. What was that? What was the others?
Okay, like entertainment, cultural activities, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be something special, but what do they do regular? Like over here, we're like, hey, maybe we'll go to the movies. Well, I haven't for years now, but you know what I mean? Like normal people.
So food, shopping, entertainment, housing. Is there anything else?
I don't know what else is there.
Public utilities,
such as.
Oh yeah, how you paying them bills? Like when you were in Saipan and we had to figure out how all that stuff went down.
What did we have to figure out?
How they pay their stuff and how things, or even when you went to just go and get like a shower head and it was going to take like a month to get it, stuff like that. But like,
I think that's better than shopping though, the shower head part. I don't think we're going to have any problems like that.
Oh, right. But no. But like the bills, like how is it set up over there? Because if you want people to know how it is to like actually live there, how do you pay your?
Yeah, I guess that's what I should mention is like what I want to do with these episodes that we're going to do is handle them like we're doing a different kind of channel, a channel where we're showing people how to move to a place. This is a one-off thing for us. It just seems like it's too good an opportunity to miss out. That I'm going to be going and looking around at these places, and we may not go to every place that we just talked about on the list. By the way, that may end up being impractical, but that list is what we're shooting for. But yeah, so we're kind of like we're doing a show where I'm showing you here's the things you need to um, know about moving to Kanto. So yeah.
Easily
So
move to Kanto with this one weird trick.
right. That's what we'll put on the thumbnail. One weird trick to move to Kanto. Endure unbearable heat. There you go.
Oh no.
Food, shopping, entertainment, housing.
Public transportation.
What do we mean by oh, there you go. Good job. Transport. It's probably going to be grab bikes everywhere, but I mean, Hanoi has public transportation, but it gets stuck in traffic so regularly that
Hey, only grab those bikes with their consent.
That's right. Put in your request. That's approved. What do we mean by entertainment? I'm thinking I got some idea in my head of cultural options, but I don't know what I mean by that. What do we mean by entertainment?
Water puppets.
Oh, go ahead.
The water puppets, I do remember that. But it could be just mainstream regular crap too, but also their like whatever's embedded in their culture. I don't know, because there's going to be stuff that's not just like I'm going to go to the AMC theater.
Well,
however, going to the movies is something. But
yeah, I mean, I assume all of them will have a movie theater at least. I don't think any of them are small enough they won't have a movie theater, but so when I lived in Chunzhou, it's a small town, and the main entertainment was drinking. Is that what we mean by entertainment? Because
that's one part of it. Bar hopping is an entertaining thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too keen to do that anymore. Again,
no, like if you checked out like a nice little one and had a little sip of something, that's it.
But you could also put coffee shops on that list. Like, what's the coffee culture there? So maybe I'm going to put the entertainment / culture on that list. Like, is there a coffee culture, or is it a bar spot, or what do people do in their off time? Entertainment / coffee. That's not what I meant to write, but I'm gonna write off time. Because I gotta say, like, another thing that I was not so keen on here in Hanoi is because of the heat and the pollution. Like, I know I keep coming back to those, but because of those things, I ended up staying here in the apartment a lot. It's just unpleasant to go walking around outside. And occasionally I think, okay, I could go have a coffee and I could sit by the lake or something, and that's nice, but the air is unbreathable. You don't want to do that. And then if you're dripping sweat just from sitting there drinking an iced coffee, but you're still dripping sweat, it kind of makes you not want to go out and do it much. So,
nope.
Yeah.
I cannot bear heat like that, so I cannot even. I can feel the sweat when you're out walking around and getting all sweaty. I'm like, oh.
The funny thing is, like, it doesn't really hit me until I stop to rest, and then I realize just how much I'm sweating and how oppressive the heat is, and I go, that's when I start going, oh, it's not pleasant. As long as I'm in motion and moving, I'm usually okay. I don't really think about it. All right, so I guess that's our list. Food, shopping, off time, housing, transport. The last one would be job. I'll put that on the list, but obviously, that's kind of a prerequisite to even show up. It's got to be a job. But I'm not going to say that for Dalat because I just can't find anything online, and it may just because I'm not looking in the right spot. All right, I'm going to copy that list for each place that we go to. and we're going to go and try and check them off. We're going to try and show each one in some capacity. This will be a new thing for us. I think it's an interesting thing. It won't be normal. We won't be doing tourist sites on this one, but there's too much travel to not stick it on the channel somewhere. I think I'll put it on the other podcast. You know, we have 2 podcasts on our channel. And I'm going to say the names of them to you in just a moment. Now,
in alphabetical order.
the one we're doing now is the Armchair Traveler, and the other is the Detour Diaries. So this one is for when we're sitting here and I don't expect to get a lot of views on it because it's not actually travel, but it's kind of good. I don't want people to be misled about what it is. This is for when we're sitting here making plans, talking about going, or doing a movie review if we ever do that again. We'll put it on this playlist. And then the other one is for when we're not really, the Detour Diaries is meant for when we're doing non-touristy sites and activities. So like when we did the episode where we showed the train arrival and the hotel in Da Nang, I put that on that. And so all of these I think will go on that list because it's not really tourism, but it is travel. I think it's related. The last thing I wanted to mention today was Nagasaki. I think we can still do it. I don't know how much it's going to cost to go down and do these things. The train is fairly cheap. We can get cheap hotels and see a couple of things in each place, and you know, I can do a job interview or two in each spot. It shouldn't be a couple of days. My visa is not an issue anymore. I've gone ahead and just told home that this to hold the apartment I'm going to pay for August, because I was going to try and work it where I was like grabbing my luggage and running down to a new place, wherever it might be. You know, as soon as I got out of the current job, and then fly to Nagasaki, and I was like, okay, now that I'm not pressed for time, I'm not going to find a cheap apartment much cheaper than this, and I might as well stay here for August and pay August rent here, and then just find an apartment like in the last week or so of August before school starts. Most schools start in the first or second week of September, it seems like. Yeah. So I'm here for that. So we have time, but not infinite money, of course. But I should be able to do this fairly cheaply and still do Nagasaki in August. What do you guys think? Am I being too ambitious?
No, because I really want to see Nagasaki. I think you can do it.
Yeah, I think so too. I found, I remember we paid $20-something in Da Nang for a hotel. I found places in Nagasaki, and you know, famous last words. Maybe I can't find it when we go, but I found places for $24 a night. I'm like, that's like $2 more than we paid in Da Nang. This is not a bad price. I'm good with this. And so of course, you know, I don't know what prices are going to turn out to be, but I think it's a doable thing as long as airfares stay, you know, fairly reasonable. And since we can push it off now a bit farther, but if we go past August 9th, we'll miss the festival in Nagasaki. I need to stop calling it a festival. It's like a memorial thing.
It is. It's like the peace memorial thing.
Oh.
Yeah. But I assume it's on the anniversary of the bombing. But I didn't check that. I just assumed it to be true.
Right. It was August 9th.
Yeah,
I
9th.
think.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that stuck in my head. I don't know if that was actually the date.
That's right. August 9th. Yeah. because you mentioned another date. You were reading another date off the internet. And I'm like, that's not. It was August 9th. It's not that date. And then you looked and you said, oh, that's Hiroshima. So
I was in another city altogether in my thing.
I wanted to get a background gift for our trip of like some motion going on. And kind of like, let me pull myself out and I'll show you what I mean. Actually, I should just turn off the camera because you can't hear me. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this one here is the one I got for Vietnam, and that's a picture of Saigon. And I was just going to use it everywhere, but then when I changed the name to Nagasaki, it just became obvious that this was not a good like to say Nagasaki and then have a background of Saigon. It doesn't make any sense. So I was going to find a gift. Let me tell you, if you go. Sorry, I hit the wrong button again. If you go on the internet and search for gifts of Nagasaki, that will be not what you want as a background for your travel show.
Oh no.
Yes, the bombing of Nagasaki was on August 9th of 1945.
Okay. All right, so we wanted to get there, but that's our only real time constraint. But I mean that's fine because I don't want to be spending 3 weeks on this little trip that we're doing. You know, a week would be my goal. That's not. Let me go look at the number. We have 5 places on the list. I don't expect to actually stop at all 5. That's just our list, our starting list, and then I'll see what schools respond, who I contact, and then we'll just zip through. And I'm maybe too ambitious of me to think I'm going to go down and spend 2 days in a place and get an idea of it, but I guess you get an idea.
Well, I mean, if that's the time you got, that's the time you got.
There you go. Yep. And then probably I will start. I'm not really going to plan this trip. So next week, my last day, I'll just message you guys and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to book a train ticket today. Because when you travel by train, you don't have to plan out 2 weeks or 3 weeks ahead of time. So I'll probably just look for a place. Like I said, I think Kanto. I'll see who has responded to my job application, and maybe just book a train down to Ho Chi Minh City. I really want to see Kanto, but I'm not sure. Like I feel like I owe it to the little town to give it a chance, but maybe I should just strike it off the list because I know it's going to be hot. Let's look at the temperatures there before I think we're close to the end here, but let me quickly look up the temperatures in Kanto. We'll just look right now. Well, it's 28 degrees. It's going to get up to 31 today. That's nothing compared to here. It's cooler there than it is here.
Oh.
Maybe we should go. We should give it a chance.
That does sound better.
Right.
And does it have less pollution there?
No, yeah, definitely. It's a growing city, but it is still fairly small. It's one of the reasons it might be really a good place to try and find a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You're
don't strike it off. As a matter of fact, you got to have like the honorable mention places too, just in case, because then you can always just contact schools there.
Yeah, I mean, I always go with honorable mention. I don't want to go with first place anyway. That puts too much competition. You're in competition with every 22-year-old who'll take $2 a month salary. And you're also in competition when you go to places like Saigon. You're in competition with people who don't really need that job. So of course they're willing to work for almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need it because they're just in Vietnam on a lark, which is fine. Like I get that. If they come, they want to experience Vietnam, and they're just working for a year, and then they're going to go back home to their real lives. And I get that, but it also means that, you're competing for the same job with someone who will work for a fraction of what the work is actually worth. And I'd rather not do that if I can avoid it. And I don't think many people are looking in Canto, so I'm gonna I'll keep that on the list. I'll put out my feelers, and we'll see who responds. And there you go. You guys have been very quiet.
And then we can find some kind of listings into lot too before you go. That way we see.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, if you can find anything, I just have not found. I can't even find a Facebook group where people are posting into lot. And like Da Nang, there's tons. That's going to be easy, but that's kind of it's a balance you have to strike between being able to find something and there being so many people there that the jobs aren't worth having. Yeah, here we go. You guys have anything to add? You've been very quiet. I know I've been running my mouth the whole time, but this is like something that's been on my mind. I've been having trouble sleeping for a couple of weeks now. Mainly because of the visa thing, and then she called up on Thursday and she's like, "Oh, we're wrong. You don't have to leave at all." I'm like, "Well, that would have been nice to know. It's a lot easier to plan if I know these things." And it made sense. That's originally what I thought was going to happen. Was I have a TRC that's good until next April, so I wouldn't have to leave, at least not right away. Like they can cancel it, stuff like that. My work permit will be canceled, so I can't work until I find a company that will sponsor me for a work permit. But I can still be in Vietnam because I have the card that says temporary resident.
Nice. That makes everything a lot easier for planning too.
It does, yeah. And I was mentioning the only constraint is the August 9th date, but that's not a constraint. That's like something we would like to get there by August 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so
and
sorry.
If you didn't, they still have Peace Park. You still go there and read about it and talk about it,
Right, yeah. That's an event that's held in the park, but the park is always there. And that. Okay, so anything else you think of, like, where will I get my hair cut? That sort of thing. If you think of anything like that that you want to add to the list of stuff, feel free to message me.
Well, the stuff that I would be concerned with, you don't have to worry about most of it because you're not on the bevy of medications that I am. I would be like, I would just die.
I feel certain any pharmacy in Vietnam is going to have. None of these towns are so small that it's not like Canto itself is not. It's not a village in the Mekong that it has no electricity or something like that. It's a town. It's a city. In fact, let me before we go, let me check the size of Canto weather. Canto Wikipedia. Canto. Here, let's share our Wikipedia. Share screen. Canto. Okay. Some nice photos. They got a bridge.
Oh.
Is that the train station or it's the market? On the Mekong. That's cool looking.
Yeah. What was that?
That was that's the old Vietnamese writing. See. Can I translate this? Hang on. The facade of Hoi Lin Pagoda, it is pagoda, was built in 1907, currently located at some address. Campo City. Okay, so it's
Did
Pagoda.
you say some address?
I mean, I've noticed sometimes I'll like sit and read the address off when we're talking about stuff, and I'm like, why would I need to read the address? People, chances are, cannot understand what I'm saying, even if they speak Vietnamese, because I'm massacring the language. That was 1789. Population 1.2 million. Oh, okay, it's bigger than I thought it was. Okay. So it's not a small town. Hanoi is 8.5 million, so it's not this size, but it's 1.2 million. It's not tiny. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Was there anything else we needed to discuss? This was not a planning episode. This was an ideas about what we're going to do episode. I'm not really going to do much planning for this. It's not a vacation. And how much time we spend in each location will be determined by how much potential there is in moving and working. And if we can strike someplace from the list before we go, then we'll do that.
Okay. Well,
what do you think, Scott? Are you having thoughts?
No. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see when we get to some of the places and see what they look like, and maybe that'll help whittle some of it down. But ultimately,
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
I said it's not me that has to live there. I mean, it's you.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. This is just for you to. I thought you might find it interesting and have some comments and thoughts on.
Oh, well, sure. I mean, I just mean like it's not my decision, obviously.
No.
But I guess I can give input.
Does someone have a ukulele doing a little mild strumming in the background? What's going on?
It may have been my mic stand creaking.
It sounds like you're gonna do a little.
I was gonna play a song, but not now.
But Erica, I wish I had a ukulele to raise up in front of the camera right when you said that.
You're like, well, how did you know?
No, you mentioned it. Thanks for noticing.
Hey, thanks for noticing.
All right, guys. I guess we're done with this episode. We will start this next week. My last day is Tuesday. So, judging by our travel in transit episodes in the past, I think it's best to do the first episode we do should be an arrival in episode. So if we're going to do Kanto first, which I think is the way to do it, the right way to do it, then I should book a train to Ho Chi Minh City. It might be arrival in Ho Chi Minh City if you want to do that episode. But I guess now it's the planning, isn't it? So let me check that. Dude, I thought we were done. Am I sharing, or did I just rearrange the screen? Oh, I'm still sharing. I just took it off the screen. Okay, let's do that. What's our Rome to Rio? Rome to Rio, blah blah blah. Okay, we are in Hanoi, and we are going to Hanoi, Vietnam. All right, buses the whole way. That flying, it says I can do it for $37. Maybe I'll check flights as well.
Whoa, what?
suspect that's not really true. I find that suspicious. Let's try. I'm just gonna try kayak. I'm gonna go look at kayak. Hanoi to.
I don't think you should travel by kayak. That would take a while.
Okay, please get out of the way. Really want this to go away. I can't remember how I installed it, but
I really want this to get out of the way.
I don't remember what this is. PayPal Honey. Well, honey is just a kind of a face.
Hey, it's my PayPal honey. How you doing?
Please turn
Send
everything
me a
off.
funding request. All right.
It's still there. It is still there. Please go away. I cannot get it to go away. Oh, what I've done. Okay, anyway. So I didn't know if you guys are even seeing it. It's popping up in front of everything. Okay, let's see. What was I? Did it? Flights. I want to see flights. What's wrong with you? Hanoi, Kanto. Oh, I got it. That's the search button. That's why I don't like the honey. It's coming up in front of me. In front of me.
Oh, is that honey thing that deal thing where it pops up? You got to get rid of that extension if that's what you're talking about. I don't like that.
Honey. Remove extension. Help us improve. Get your shit out of my way. That's how you can improve.
Right. Stop popping up in front of exactly what I'm trying to look at. That's why I got rid of it.
And I don't want close.
It's like, oh, you wanted to get rid of me?
Okay, anyway, all right, let's see. Can you guys see the price? 2.9 million. That's not bad. Do you know how much that is, Erica?
If it was, wait, are we talking about in Dong?
Yeah, talking about Dong.
God, I can't do the math. I know 25,000 was $1.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Oh, I thought you typed that stuff into the computer. You're doing math in your head. That's awful.
Yeah. Well, I had to because I've got two computers laying on my chest in here as I lay down medicated. So I'm like ticky on both of these. But let me see. Hold on. Don't say anything. Okay. I got it on here. I've got Dong to dollars saved on my other computer. Hold on. Which I love to put Dong to dollars on here. Like it makes me laugh every time I'm doing it.
I feel like the train is going to be cheap.
Okay, so it's 114.
All right, so that's not 37.
No, that's not. That's still not a lot. That's still.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad, but we're not pressed for time, so I don't like to fly personally. Interesting.
I have never flown.
Oh, yeah. You're unfortunately. I hate to say you're too late, but you're too late for when flying was actually enjoyable. So I wouldn't do it.
and I just can't stand people in general, but now I really can't stand them. So yeah, it just ain't.
I mean, that's it. It's not the flying itself. I like being in the plane, and it's a cool experience that you're up in the air, and that's all that's still there and neat. But what you have to put up with being squeezed in with so many other people you don't know. And the process of going through the airport, the security checks and check-in and all this stuff, it's just like it's 1,000 times more difficult than it needs to be. And Scott, you remember the episode when we probably won't do any more I Get on the Train episodes because it just didn't. I don't think it really turned out. Maybe you can if you think differently, but I thought the getting there was good, but you can remember how easy it was when I got to the train station. The most difficult part, it was more difficult trying to figure out how to pay the cab driver than it was getting on the train.
Yeah.
You just walk through and you're like, here's my ticket, and they're like, come on in, and then you go find your seat and plop down.
Yeah, because it was also just like right in front of you, where you needed to go and all that. Once you kind of figured that out, it was very straightforward. There wasn't a huge line or anything like that I recall.
Yeah. No, exactly. Let's see. Let's imagine it's next Wednesday.
Oh, I will say I was on a plane. It was the Nissan, the man that owned the Nissan dealerships here, like, well, not here in Georgia. Daddy's friend Joel flew for him on his private plane, and Joel took me from Kennesaw, from that little airport over there, to Atlanta. And so I was on a 7-minute flight on that. That would have been the only time I would have trusted anything, because I trusted Joel. And so I have pictures of that. And that was
so you actually did get to fly. So you got the part about being in a plane.
Right, which was really cool. It scared the crap out of me at first. Right. And then without having to be near a bunch of people. And also with the two pilots, Joel and his co-pilot, cheering me on. And and it was just me and Daddy in the on the flight, because we were just going over there to Atlanta.
Oh, this is more than I thought. It's about $1 million dong to take the train from here to Ho Chi Minh City.
So it's like a third of the price of the other.
Yeah.
Of the flight.
Right. And so I can do a round trip for less than the flight down. So I'll definitely take the train. Okay. Well. Oh, I should have switched that back. Sorry. Forgot to switch back. I love Rome to Rio. I love doing the checks on this. It shows you all the different ways that you can get down there, and then links to the websites where you would book the tickets.
I like for things to show me how I can get down.
Here's how you can get down. So you have to take the train to Ho Chi Minh City and then the bus on to Canto.
All of my drinks are empty.
No.
What? All of your drinks?
That is very funny, because I've got a thermos type thing, like one of those fake Stanley cups. Well, it's not really Stanley. What are those other ones that all the rich people were doing? It was like, yeah, these. Oh, it's a thing. But what the hell is the other one called?
Stanley Cup's a trophy.
That is hilarious. You know what I'm talking about, though, where all these women were like fighting each other over getting these stupid. All it is a cup that says Stanley on it. It was like a thermos back in the day. It's handled tumblers. Anyway, I don't have it like that, but it's a tumbler like that. But with but I have it from Amazon, and it was like $20, not $80, and that's just stupid. I would never do that. But I had that, and speaking of other drinks, though, and I had like 3 other drinks sitting over here, like a can of diet soda, and then a bottle of water, and that thermos is what's funny about that. Anyway, and I was just thinking about how I need to do what?
Is there anything you guys want to see? I mean, we can't do a lot of tourist stuff on this, but is there anything you want to see that maybe we skipped over, or we haven't seen in Vietnam when we do this? Because I have one thing on my list.
Oh, what is it? Because I have no idea what's over there. I'm just down for any kind of trip, because I don't get to see anything unless you do it.
All right, I'm going to show you. This is it. We talked about it a long time ago. We talked about this island, which I think you can get to by ferry from Ho Chi Minh City. So that may be something worth stopping in Ho Chi Minh City to do. This is the island where the American version of what they call the Hanoi Hilton here, where they put POWs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one that the Americans captured Viet Cong, I think I'm getting the term right, during the American War.
Oh.
So yeah, that's on my list to see. We talked about doing it a while back, but it was we were not able to do it at the time because of time and money. But I would like to go see that. I know this is it's an off thing, but it's there's Canto there, so maybe you can get to it from other places too. I don't know. I know the ferry goes to Vung Tau, and then you can get a ferry from Vung Tau to Ho Chi Minh City. But anyway, yeah, that's something that's always been on my list. I don't think it'll easily fit into any other trip that we take here in Vietnam. So yeah, that. Anything for you guys on that front?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean,
I just like to see things.
That was it was advised. A friend advised me to go see that when I lived here before and worked at Terry's school, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. But it's the other end of the country, of course, so it's not easy to pop over and see it. But she said if you get the chance to go see that, you should. So I want to do that, and I think I'm saying for the second time now. I think that's it. Oops, I hit mute. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I wasn't showing you guys? Dookie. This is it. Sorry. I'm sitting here talking about that. Thought I was showing you. Let me go back over there and show you where it is. Yeah, that's the little island down here.
Oh.
Sorry. And it's that, but there's also resorts there. I mean, it is an island as well. Here, look at an ad, but let's give them some ad time here. This looks really pretty. Wow. I mean, it's also a beautiful tropical island. should mention.
Oh yeah.
It has an interesting historical site, so I'd like to do that one just to be able to see that, and if we can work in a fancy or even not fancy, beautiful resort looking thing. There's hotels and things like that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank God, I was afraid that whole island was just like a giant prison. Like it was.
It's a small island, but it's not quite that small.
Like it was Escape from New York or something.
I was thinking of Alcatraz.
Here's pictures of the prison.
Oh.
Now you just made me think of Snake Plissken. For absolutely.
This is going to be right up your alley. It's a beautiful beach with a historic site that shows some bad things that America has done overseas.
Oh, so the truth.
Truthin. Okay, well, we don't want to spoil it. All right, I think that wraps it up. What's left to do now is just work out my last few days. I'm within 1 week of leaving, so all my classes are weekly. And last night I had my first class that will be my last for that class, and it was so sad. I mean, most of the kids, they're kids; they don't really internalize stuff like this. But one of the little girls was like, "Oh, she wanted to hug."
Oh.
It was like, oh, sad, but your school should have offered me more money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! You didn't tell them that, did you?
We'll go and tell your parents to tell the school to offer me more money, and then I'll see. And if you can't do that, then you're obviously not a very good student.
Oh God!
Feel bad about yourselves.
Oh. You're bad and should feel bad.
You're bad. Your music is bad and you should feel bad.
I've watched a criminally small amount of Futurama in my life, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched much of it at all for some silly reason. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Like everything in my head is bits of that and and Family Guy and The Simpsons. And like just a minute ago when you were like talking about going to the city, I was thinking about playing Hot in the City in the background, right? Because it's like that old 80s song, Hot in the City tonight. Then I thought about the freaking Axel Foley thing where it's like, but I only thought of Peter doing it. And this is the kind of crap that runs through my head. So he's like, and another, you know what I'm talking about, right? And that's in my head. It's freaking Peter Griffin. And then, anyway, but Futurama, oh my God, I'll take one art, please. Or things like that when I'm looking at like art.
Scott, you said I'll take one art, please, in an episode somewhat recently.
Oh, did I?
Maybe you repeat. I remember, like, I heard you say it, and I was like, you love Futurama just like I do. But then I went back and watched the video, and I had actually said it as you were repeating after me.
Okay.
Because that's the Zoidberg thing. And oh, yeah, that's like, man, I just love that.
Yeah, that's Zoidberg. Why not, please?
Why not Zoidberg? See, I know a little bit about it, but it's not much.
Oh, you've got to watch
do
it.
a marathon session.
Yeah, what's it? It's on Hulu or something, right? Or is it
yes,
the Disney
Plus?
Plus?
And they've got newer episodes too.
I don't have the Hulu right now.
I do. Or I don't know if they've got it blocked where other people can't use it though.
I feel like people really want to enjoy this channel. They have to get our Futurama references, our Family Guy references. You have to probably know Star Trek and Star Wars. At least to some degree. Where else do we draw all our references from?
Historical documents.
That just made me laugh too hard.
All right. Well, we're closing in on 2 hours. I guess we should cut it. I'm not going to cut this. I'm not going to do anything to it. If somebody wants to watch it, this is just giving an overview of what's coming up in the next few weeks. As I try and figure out where I'm going in next year in Vietnam, I think it'll be worth putting on the channel because I'm going to be traveling around. It won't be tourists, so it won't exactly fit the mode of the channel, but it'll be a fun side note, I guess. And then next month we should be ready for Nagasaki.
Nice.
All right.
Oh, kind of tangentially, I guess, to Nagasaki and what it has obviously been known for historically. If you get a chance, since it is on digital now, to watch Godzilla -1, which is set right after World War II in Japan, it's very good. It's a very good. I think it's a good film, not just like a good Godzilla movie. I think it's a good film that just happens to have Godzilla in it.
Right, like it made me tear up. I'm like,
yeah. Like all the other Godzilla movies, with maybe the exception of the first one of the new series here in America that had Quicksilver guy in it. I've never really cared about the human people in the Godzilla movies until this film.
I really care about the humans.
I'm just like, I don't care what they're doing. Just show me the Godzilla fighting each other. It's fine. Now they're punching. Here we go.
They're punching.
It was like a WW. No, let me go further back. It was like a what was the old Turner wrestling thing? It wasn't NWA. That's what it was. It? No, that's a rap group.
That's
not right. Wait a minute. Let me look it up.
There's WWE and WWF, but
Yeah.
Okay, well, in my defense, the NWA is an acronym for the National Wrestling Alliance, which is a thing. I'm not entirely crazy.
Okay.
But,
All right.
yeah. Because old Godzilla movies were like, WWF for nerds, really.
WWF for nerds.
Yeah, for bigger nerds, I guess. I don't know.
Enormous nerds.
Oh, World Championship Wrestling, WCW. That was it.
WCW, yeah.
Okay. Not the NWA. That's something that's completely different. That stands for something that I can't really say on this channel. Or what I
View tab. Google. View tab. Google.
Although it would be funny if Ted Turner was one of the founders of like NWA, the rap band. I think it would have been a very different style.
All right. Well, for this thing, make sure you guys bring your opinions and don't be shy with them. Let me know if I'm not considering something or if I seem to be doing something crazy. Got a lot to think about. And I'm serious about trying to find a place where I can settle in and not necessarily that I'm retiring there, but like not move every year. I had hoped that would be Hanoi, but over the past year, it was just it's not terrific, between the heat and the pollution. There's a lot that's good about the city.
Breezy. Right? You need to be able to breathe.
Being able to breathe, that's a real plus.
I mean, if too much heat and too much pollution are no-goes for you, I have a horrible announcement to make. That's going to be most of the planet here. I mean, not too long. Oh, God.
I hope you see next week that is not true. There are, I like big cities for a lot of reasons, but there's some good reasons not to like them.
Would you say you like big cities and you cannot lie? That those other brothers can't deny?
When pollution sets in.
The coughing begins.
The coughing begins. Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate thing, especially here, because a switch to electric would probably change a lot of it.
I saw something that said that the Chinese scientists had recently made a breakthrough in the magnetic field around fusion experiment, which is a small step towards fusion generators like that would work.
I think they made a fusion breakthrough recently. Somebody did.
Well, I mean, get cracking. That's all I got to say. Get going.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just whoever. It's not like we're not already using them in weapons and things like that. I mean, we need them for the electricity generation, please.
Wasn't that the plot of The Saint with Val Kilmer, where there was a scientist that came up with some type of fusion energy?
I remember the name of that movie, but that is literally all I know. I mean,
I remember that movie. Is that enough?
And I remember who Val Kilmer is.
You guys, I'm going to run the credits. And if you guys want to stay on, we can keep talking about this. I mean, Val Kilmer or whatever. You guys have anything else to say before we end the episode?
I think the internet needs to hear my 15-minute dissertation on Val Kilmer. I have a carefully prepared paper that I wrote about him. Why are you trying to deplatform me? Because I love Val Kilmer so much, you jerk.
I like Val Kilmer in The Doors.
I liked him in that Batman movie he was in, and maybe The Saint. I don't know.
The Saint was a really good movie. I liked it.
I can't look. The things that were wrong with that Batman movie he was in were beyond Val Kilmer's control.
I agree with that. All right. Well, I guess we will see everybody again in about a week. Once we start this search, I'm not exactly sure how it'll go. Like I said, it's a different thing for the channel, so who knows how the episodes will go. But we're going to try and show a little bit of the places. And I'm going to be seeing so many places, it just seems like it would be a shame not to put some of what we see on the channel. That's kind of what I'm doing. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys again in about 1 minute. And I will see you in about a week.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Jag är den och de kommer då se upp som personer